Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the VAR You Serious podcast. My name is Dylan. This is my dad, Mike. Dad, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Big day in the Champions League. What were there, like 18 games at once or something like that? I
Yeah,
saw a whole bunch of different memes out there of people having, 18 different laptops going at once to watch all the games. I was teaching a class, so I couldn't really watch any of the games. So,
I
how
hear
about
ya.
you?
I only watched bits and pieces of Arsenal and Kyra, and it was funny. Arsenal looked pretty good in the first half, and then didn't look too good in the second half. Still got the win 3-2 and finished the table on top. But I mean, you're right, Dad. It was such a crazy day in the Champions League. Definitely some things we've never seen before. But Dad, want to make sure we get into a roadmap this week, let new listeners and existing listeners know what we're going to be going through today. So to start off, one big thing of the week. Then we're going to move on to our underdogs of the week. That's anywhere in world football, our underdogs of the week. Then we have our VAR You Serious moment of the week where we discuss a controversial topic in depth. And then we'll wrap it up with parting shots with some quick hitting questions to each other. How does that sound, Dad?
Sounds good. I always get most excited about underdogs and parting shots, but they're all fun. So we should go ahead and jump right into it.
Just too much to talk about. So yeah, we will jump right in, Dad. And like I said, we are on to our one big thing of the week. And right now, I think you could separate the Premier League table, especially the top part, into two segments. You got the true contenders, and then you have everyone else competing for the Champions League spots, which will most likely be fourth and fifth. I think it's what we've discussed, Dad. This season feels very open. There's a lot to take into account, a lot of different teams. But Dad, let's start with the title race. Arsenal obviously losing to United at the weekend, Villa and City getting the wins, closing the gap. I don't know if it's just you. I don't know if it's just me. Sorry. I don't know how you feel, but I feel like no team is actually really consistent enough right now to comfortably win the league this year.
No, I don't think so. Obviously, we keep hoping as Arsenal fans that they'll finally pull away and make the gap 10 points or something like that, and they haven't been able to do it. The reality is that, I mean, nobody is bulletproof, right? All these teams, including Arsenal, but they've dealt with injuries. It feels like, especially the top teams, are playing every 3 days, which is contributing to the injuries. And I think teams across the Premier League have just gotten better. And so there aren't that many easy games out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's, Dad, like you said, it's that repetitive mindset of going out every 3 days, knowing you have to give it your all. You have to go all out every single game. And to your point, those top teams are still in all the competitions. I think Man City, Arsenal, and Villa are in all the competitions they can be in still. I guess besides Villa not being in the League Cup. So that puts extra pressure on City and Arsenal, right? But I mean, could that work to Villa's favor maybe because of the extra couple games in the League Cup? Or does it really make that much of a difference?
It feels like this year is making a difference. I'm not sure if I can quantify it, but I know there are days where it feels like, Arsenal, Man City, and so on, they like another game. Like, are you kidding? Another game and trying
Just
to
keep going.
rotate the squad and so on. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's enough for Villa to overtake and win the Premier League, but I think it's an advantage. I think they got to put in their column right now.
For sure, Dad. And I think some other advantages and disadvantages we could be looking at here. Manchester City and Aston Villa. It's a January transfer window. They have both been active in the window, whereas Arsenal technically have not been. We're seeing City bringing Guehi and Semenyo, two very proven Premier League players, two of the top ones, you could say. And then Villa completing the signing of Tammy Abraham, former Chelsea and Villa player, coming back to the Premier League. Proven good scorer, will be a good backup for them. How much do you see this affecting the title race, Dad? Because I see this being a big sticking point, especially if Arsenal aren't making any moves.
Yeah, the Villa move doesn't really concern me one way or the other. But sure, Guehi and Semenyo for City, like Yeah, those are big moves. And it's not like City was struggling to begin with. And so, I mean, I think in Arsenal's thinking, it's, Havertz played today in the Champions League. I think he played the first half.
Yep.
So that's kind of a January signing for Arsenal to get him back. But I can't, if I'm, being honest, I wish we signed somebody else. But I like our squad, but man, it never hurts to kind of put more bullets in the chamber, man. And so we'll see if these signings make the difference in the end for City.
I think that Semenyo is a really big one, especially from an Arsenal perspective. Seemed like for a few years there, an Arsenal move looked likely. Our left wing has been contentious over the last couple of years. And, there's always reports. I mean, you can always say things, but Semenyo clearly publicly had made it kind of known that Arsenal was his team growing up, as a lot of these players actually end up doing. And it just felt like a market opportunity that we should have pounced on. And you look at City and they pounced on both market opportunities. They knew Semenyo had the release clause at 65 million, so they did it. Gahey out of contract in the summer. There was going to be a bunch of suitors, Arsenal included. They were like, we'll get him right now, give Crystal Palace the money to get it done at 30 million. I mean, that's what, unfortunately, these days, I think winners do. Don't you agree?
I do. My guess is that Arsenal are happy with who they have. And there's a chemistry, even though, the chemistry hasn't been great in the Premier League the last 3 matches. I think they feel like they've got what they need. They made a lot of moves in the summer. I think they feel like, you know what, we're happy with what we have. And so there's a certain confidence and calmness to that I like. If you want to flip it around, you could say that City are panicking a little bit because they're going out and they're getting these guys. I think they know they have to chase Arsenal. Like,
For sure.
right? Even with all their titles, they are still chasing Arsenal. So they clearly felt like they had to add parts. I don't think Arsenal is afraid to spend money. I think they're just like, you know what? We feel good with the roster we have.
Well, and Dad, I think you could see that with Arteta's press conference, I believe, yesterday, addressing the press, especially after the United loss. A lot of upset fans, people kind of losing perspective of where Arsenal are at right now. They're 4 points clear still, in a really good spot, top of the Champions League, in the League Cup, in the FA Cup. Like, they're in everything. And Mikel Arteta simply just said, we're going to play these last 4 months and enjoy it. Along those lines, he said, we're going to enjoy it because what's the point otherwise? We're living through this moment. We're going to have a great time doing it. And I think that's maybe something Arsenal has been missing the last few years is they've had all that pressure weighing them down over the years. And now they just know the pressure is there and they're like, whatever. We're just going to go play our game and do our thing, and hopefully it works. I think it could be a good move, Dad. I think it's a good switch of philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Arteta's calm confidence is important. I still think they need to make some changes as far as how they're lining up in Premier League matches and the mentality there. But it's hard to argue with what they've done so far. I would like to, if we can just shift it a little bit to the 4th through 11th place teams, because
Totally.
there's excitement at the top, relegation stuff. Obviously, there's some fearful excitement.
Yeah.
But that fact that the 4th through 11th spots are so close is really cool. And that not only does that put pressure on all those teams, it puts pressure on the top teams like City, Arsenal, and Villa, because they got to play those teams. And none of those games are easy, like losing to Man U at home this last weekend. And I think these teams are spending wiser. I think their analytics are allowing them to be smarter in how they purchase players. I think these teams have more bravery, more courage. They're pressing more. They're transitioning quicker, like the top 6 teams. I think, it's a good thing for the Premier League.
I think it's absolutely good, Dad. And I'm glad you brought up the fact that it is a good thing. I think you see some of these pundits go on TV. I saw Rio Ferdinand. I thought this was ridiculous, especially from a player that played in the league, especially when United were so dominant. But he basically came out and said Arsenal were lucky with how bad the league was this year. And I just think that's first of all, utterly disrespectful to a club he battled with for so many years when he played. And two, just tone deaf to all the other teams in the Premier League. Because to your point, Dad, everyone's up for a fight. Everyone's ready for a scrap. They know they have the quality to win any game. It doesn't matter. I mean, even West Ham, who's in the bottom, or Wolves, right? Like, these teams have gone and gotten results at the big teams. Burnley just drew with Spurs. Like, these teams know they can get results against anyone. And I think that's what makes things great. So I'm just a little upset about people saying the Premier League's in a bad spot. Maybe style of play wise, you could argue, but not competitiveness by no stretch.
Right, dude. I mean, come on. I could kind of do the same thing talking about the NBA, the good old days with Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, or if you want to go back to the days of Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell, like everyone always pretends that their era was better and so on. And listen, it's like I just said, it's not that the Premier League is weak. It's at the middle part of the table and more teams are competitive, which is a good thing, right? It's not the days of when Man U could dominate, or even not long ago when Man City could easily dominate, right? Like, this is a good thing. Is it weaker overall? I'm sure there's some statistic out there that might prove that. But to me, it doesn't feel weak. I enjoy watching so many games above and beyond the top teams because the quality of soccer is good. Yes, teams play out of the back slowly and build sometimes too much, but they're exciting. They're close games. Like, that's good for soccer. And Rio Ferdinand, I mean, I have all sorts of comments about that. He's
Totally.
certainly entitled to his opinion, but we're entitled to ours. And I think he's looking at it in the wrong way.
Absolutely, Dad. I agree with you there. And just to go kind of back to him a little bit, I mean, exciting, I guess, for him means Man City winning the title 4 years in a row or United dominating every year. I guess that's exciting for him, and maybe that's just inherent bias. But also, I guess he enjoys his direct rival winning 4 in a row. So I don't really know where his comments came from there. One team just wanted to highlight real quick, and we had him on here, Dad, Fulham. I have to look back at the episodes on which one we talk about them in a potential relegation battle. Fulham, I believe, are in 6th or 7th place right now in the table. And that was a matter of weeks, maybe a couple months at the most. I mean, it
Yeah.
shows you how quick things are changing almost on a dime. But Dad, if you were to say anyone, I don't want to jump the gun here, but do you think someone could sneak into that top 5 this year that wouldn't normally be there? Or do you think it's going to be a mix of Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United?
I'm just double checking. You're right. Fulham in 7th place, Liverpool 6, Chelsea 5. The safe bet is that Chelsea or Liverpool get that 5th spot, right? One of them is going to stay strong and get it. I can't see both struggling and dropping, but I would sure love to see a team like Fulham or Brentford get in there. That would be awesome. Once again, good for soccer, good for the Premier League. That's why I'm always looking at that, right? What's good for the league? And this is coming from the fan of a top team that spends a lot of money. Like, I mean, I want to see that success. But if I'm putting down cold hard cash, Chelsea or Liverpool, one of them is, this top 5 isn't going to change much.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably agree with you just because of the strength of both teams, of those two teams especially. We're not mentioning United. United are in 4th, I believe, right now. I don't know if I mean, they are in some red hot form right now. Red hot form from Manchester United. I don't know if they can sustain it. I think Carrick's done a great job stabilizing the ship, playing a good formation that suits the team, and having good tactics. Can he do that for another 14 matches? I'm not too sure about that, especially maybe when the team's not up for it. Now, listen, Manchester United aren't in any other competitions, but still, I mean, if I'm being honest, yeah, I see Liverpool and Chelsea taking 4th and 5th, and Manchester United finishing 6th.
Yeah, I think that's pretty realistic. I wonder how Rio Ferdinand feels about the fact that Man U is only in the Premier League right now and has no other competitions to worry about.
Yeah, I don't think they're actually playing exciting enough football for him, so he probably shouldn't watch them the rest of the season. So Rio, maybe just shut off the TV.
Hey, real quick, who's the guy that scored against us, that crazy good goal from Man U, but now he's out with
Dorgu, yeah.
hamstring, right?
Yeah, 10 weeks. That's a big deal.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that happens that takes red hot teams and starts to bring the temperature down a little bit. And
That's a big
so,
loss for them.
yeah, I don't wish ill will upon anybody, but
Um,
hey, he got the winning goal. Hell of a goal. Don't want to take anything away from him. Big victory at the Emirates, but now he's gone. So you mentioned Michael Carrick, and can he keep it up? They got a new manager boost, but with him out, suddenly it becomes a little bit harder.
Absolutely. So it'll test the strength of that United squad and Michael Carrick. We talked about it last episode. Let's see if he's got what it takes to have a real shot at the job at the end of the season. I mean, if he goes on a run, I think it's still possible, but so much to watch and be excited for, Dad. I know we'll be tuning in for all of it, and we'll keep you guys updated as well. But now we're going on to some other teams battling it out. It's our underdogs of the week. Dad, I got a couple for each of us here, but let's see which one you go with.
I'm sticking with the one I sent you the other day. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about Augsburg beating Bayern Munich in Munich at the Allianz Arena, excuse me. Big win. Bayern, I don't believe they'd even lost this season in the Bundesliga. I think they've had a few draws. Hadn't even lost yet, but to finally lose, to lose at home, and to lose to Augsburg, who I think was closer to the relegation zone prior to this win, that is awesome, right? And I did a little research. Augsburg has not won in Munich in 11 years. So, I mean, this is big because Munich finally has a blemish on their record. I mean, they're going to win the Bundesliga going away. Augsburg gets a big win in Munich, and now they give themselves a little more cushion. I think they're in 13th now, a little more distance between themselves and the relegation zone. So I think that's big stuff. Exciting. Congratulations to Augsburg. They are my underdog of the week.
I love it. I love it. And watch out for Noah Kai Banks, U.S. national team center back playing for Augsburg. 18. Good for him. Good job, Noah Kai. That's a big win for you guys. But Dad, now I feel like I have too many options, but I think I'll stick with my original one as well. Like you said, so many great games this past week, but this underdog has been a consistent underdog throughout the season. We've brought them up, such as Hearts and some other teams around the world. FC Thun. I did not look up how to pronounce that. They sit top of the Swiss league, Dad. So European league we don't talk about as much.
Right.
7 points, 7-point gap ahead of second. But Dad, here's the most stunning part of this. This squad just got promoted this season.
Oh, wow.
They were in the second tier last year. Now, I don't know if there was some controversy involved and that's why they got relegated. I'm just assuming they got relegated because they were playing poorly. So to come up and immediately be on the top of the table, I mean, Dad, we've seen teams have great first seasons. This would have to be the best of all time if they win this, right?
I mean, you're right. This is incredible. Not just a win, but to be up top with breathing room. Now that you're right, that is an underdog. I mean, at some point, towards the end of the season or at the end of the season, we will do our season-long underdog of the year. And I mean, by the way, I looked it up. It's Thun. The H is silent. FC Thun.
Of course. Yep. I got to learn my French, Swiss, or German Swiss.
Probably German. But anyway, FC Thun has got to be in the running for underdog of the season with this
Especially
kind of
if they keep it up. I mean, if they can keep it going, fantastic. I mean, they're beating teams like Young Boys, Basel, some of these clubs that we've seen in the Champions League not that long ago. I mean, we're talking they're beating big teams here. So good for the FC Thun, as they're pronounced. Apologies to them. But yeah, that is my underdog of the week. Let's hope they keep it going for the rest of the season. But Dad, we are now on to our VAR You Serious moment of the week. I never get that one right. I don't know why. But anyways, Dad, I saw only the end of this game because I was monitoring it. Crazy, crazy ending. But Real Madrid and Benfica, we don't need to go into too much depth. I think everyone, as of right now, knows what happened in this game, Dad. And do you know what happened?
I do, especially I'm going to give away the exciting ending where the goalkeeper comes up and scores the game winner in the
Unreal.
96th minute or 98th or whatever minute it was. You always see teams throw keepers for at the last second like that, and you're like, this isn't going to work. And on a percentage basis, I have no idea. It's got to be less than 10% success
I think
rate.
less than 5%. I mean, there's no chance. Maybe less than 1%. Go ahead.
That's exciting, and I know there's some controversy we're going to talk about, but let's give Benfica and the keeper the credit they deserve. That is badass. Way to go. Amazing goal.
I'll send you the goal too, Dad, if you haven't seen it. Because
I've seen it like 3 different times.
I mean, unbelievable header too. Like, let's just point that out. Like, perfect timing, right into the top corner. No way the keeper saves. I mean, flat out ridiculous from a goalkeeper. And I saw his post-match interview, Dad. He didn't even know what to say. Like, he was speechless. He was like, I was there. I don't know. Which is great. But Dad, let's go to Real Madrid. We like kind of dogging on them, and I think there's another moment here. And I don't mean I don't want to do it purposefully, but 2 red cards in 5 minutes, both soft, which means they both got 2 yellows. Now, the first one was for a challenge, and Asensio got his second yellow sent off. I don't know how he got his first yellow. Fair enough. You make challenges at the end of games, stuff happens. Rodrigo, on the other hand, I still cannot figure out how he got 2 yellow cards. It was, I think, back-to-back yellow cards, and he got sent off, maybe telling the ref to go screw himself, something like that. I mean, Dad, does this just kind of epitomize what we've been talking about with Real Madrid? This kind of lack of discipline?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. They're bringing this negative attention on themselves, right? They just chased out one manager, and clearly the inmates are still running the asylum here. The lack of discipline, and this is a Champions League. This is not some random cup game. This is a Champions League, which Real Madrid, have they won the most Champions League titles, or they're up there, right?
Of all time. Yeah. I think
like
14.
This is, their tournament, and you can't even show discipline in the Champions League? And then what about the Mbappe thing?
Well, and so this one, I think will take the pressure off Real Madrid a little bit here. More of a maybe VAR moment here that I don't really know the rule, but the Benfica goalie, before he scored, was going to punt the ball. And Mbappe came around the back, tried to block the ball and did and scored. And
you can't do that.
People like to argue, but he's like the ball's in the air. He doesn't have control of it. He's in the act of dropping the ball to hit his foot. I mean, that's control of the ball, unfortunately. I understand the literal sense he's not holding it.
Yeah.
You can't do it. And this is funny enough, right after that's when Rodrigo gets his second card, probably complaining to the ref. And it's just like these silly antics at the end of a game that you're already losing. It's like, what are you doing? I just can't really wrap my head around what's going on at Real Madrid right now. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I'll let you in on a little secret. I don't think they know either, to be honest with you. And I think this costs them dearly because if I'm right, are they in 9th place? And so now they have to be in that next round of playoffs.
Second year in a row.
Yeah, I mean, now in their minds, they're probably like, we're fine. We have to play the 24th place team. I don't even know who that is right now.
It's a draw.
Yeah, but how stupid can you get? I just have to be honest. Like, if you lose a game straight up, that's one thing. But to lose it this way, a little bit of, luck, if you will, for Benfica with the goalie goal. But, I mean, what a disaster. Like, Real Madrid is a hot mess.
Absolutely. And 2 fun little facts here. First time Jose Mourinho has beaten Real Madrid, his former club, of course. So shout out to the chosen one, I think is what the Chelsea fans call him. Good for him. Super fun game to watch and be a part of. But yeah, Dan, I think there's something wrong there. I mean, Jude Bellingham at the end of the game, post-conference, also similarly to the Benfica goalie, did not have words, but in a poor way. He's like, I don't know what's going on and why we keep doing this, but we're going to go and look at it and try again. I mean, I just like, where's the leadership from anyone?
Well, there isn't, and I'm going to go straight to my verdict. This is a straight red on Real Madrid. They've had warnings. They've had problems off and on all season. The players already chased the manager out, and then they put on this display. Straight red card for me, and it's not even close.
Yeah, and I'm really close to agreeing with you, Dad. I'll give them the yellow card because of the context that they're still through. It's not like they didn't make the knockouts of the Champions League at all. They still did make it through, so I'll give them the yellow card. But man, that was close to a red card. It went to a VAR decision for me there. Hopefully or not hopefully, Real Madrid can figure it out and give us some entertaining football, right?
Well, I think the football world is better off when Real Madrid are at their best and they're not being a bunch of punks. So, yeah, let's hope they turn it around.
100%, Brad.
Let's go ahead and move on to our parting shots. You are taking the odd. I'm reading the odd. You're answering the odd questions, and I'm answering the even questions. So, number one, who will be the shock exit in the first Champions League knockout round?
I've been thinking about this one a lot today, and especially after their result in Paris today. PSG. Whoever they draw, they're getting knocked out by. It's hard to say, before knowing the games. Obviously, it makes it a little tougher, but I don't really see it this season from them. In the league, they're back on top, but they're struggling a little bit. The Champions League was kind of stop and start. It's hard to go back to back. I'm going to say the reigning champs are out after the first knockout.
Okay.
Anyways, back to Real Madrid. Are Mbappe's goals truly impactful or bordering on stat padding with 35 in all competitions based on what we just said?
I think they're legitimate. I think they're impactful. I mean, I would love the problem, if you will, of having a guy scoring 35 goals and having this conversation. Like, are they stat padding? Like, I don't think he cares. And I don't think Real Madrid fans care, right? I mean, the crap pulled with the goalie today, that's a distraction. That's a problem. But I mean, yeah, I think they're legit. I think they are impactful. There's a lot of season left. Let's see where Real Madrid end up. But I think they're impactful.
For sure. Go ahead.
Will an automatic qualifier go on to win the Champions League?
I think it's looking most likely. Liverpool got knocked out immediately last year, finishing first. So, it's never, nothing's guaranteed as an automatic qualifier. You just get the extra rest. But I'm going to say yes, an automatic qualifier wins it. I can't choose. I think it's going to be Bayern or Arsenal. I truly do. I think they're going to win it.
Okay.
Awesome. But another team that was an automatic qualifier, Dad. Can Liverpool still win a trophy this season?
Sure. Not the Premier League. I think they're toast in the Premier League. Champions League, what are they, third right now on the table? If they can turn their focus, if they kind of come to the conclusion, which they should, that they can't win the Premier League, yeah, and they focus on the Champions League, they could be absolutely dangerous. So, yeah.
Destroyed a team that did qualify today as well, Dad. 6-0 against Karabag, who played some good games. So that proves your point, right?
Absolutely. Were Chelsea wrong or disrespectful in their handing of the Liam Rossinier situation?
No, that's a great way to pronounce it. Yeah, Dad, I think they were a little bit. I saw, big time Chelsea supporters, Rory Jennings on his YouTube channel, going in on the guy before he'd even managed a game for Chelsea. I mean, it's unfair to do that to someone. We dogged on him. I did. So I have to apologize here as well. Chelsea fans were wrong in how they handled it because he's got them playing well right now. So I think they handled it poorly for sure.
Okay.
On to the last one here. Who is the favorite right now for Premier League player of the season?
Erling Haaland. I mean, now I could start to get analytical and say Declan Rice, especially if Arsenal win the league. But somebody like, and we'll see what happens, and maybe I'm being a little crazy here, but what if Semenyo helps City win the title? Is there any way Semenyo wins it over Haaland?
I think
Probably
so.
not, but that's my dark horse if, God forbid, City win another title and Semenyo has a good run there. There's my dark horse. But probably
No, I like
Haaland,
to pick that.
maybe Rice.
I like that. I like that answer, especially Semenyo's third and can goals scored right now in the league, and I'm sure he's got a little bag of assists on the side as well. So definitely in play if City go on to win it. Let's hope they don't win it for, I think, everyone's sake. I'm tired of seeing them win. But anyways, Dad, that is the end of the episode for the week. We cruised through it. Tons of Premier League and Champions League action. Thank you guys for watching today. Please go like, subscribe, comment. Would love for you guys to be involved on this. Dad, any last words for the supporters?
Just appreciate any attention, any likes, any subscription, whatever, followers, all the words. We've been doing this for a while now, and we'd like to grow our audience. So if you can find a friend to join our little club here, that would be great.
Amazing. Couldn't agree more. But guys, thank you so much for joining us for another week here. Hope you guys all have a great one. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.